I think the honorable thing for our species to do is deny our programming. Stop reproducing. Walk hand in hand into extinction. One last midnight, brothers and sisters opting out of a raw deal.
Do not trust any friends or family members.
Spider-Man Homecoming is. Having watched Spider-Man, Far From Home, Can't Go Home, whatever the fuck that movie's called. It was just just charming, and like visually interesting. And I know the idea is that like in the third movie, Spider-Man's life has gone really bad and stuff like that. And I don't think that's why that movie sucks. Maybe I'll tell you some other time why I think that movie.
Well, I mean, like it's kind of obvious. It's like you did elaborate cameos. The best thing about it's Willem Dafoe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you basically brought in the Spider-Mans for boner reaction. Did some hilarious stuff. You cracked Tobey Maguire's back. I had a chuckle. And then you fridged Aunt May for motivation. That was it. I get it. That wasn't. It felt fun when I watched it in the theater, but I could see it wasn't a high point. But in all fairness, for that one, I had actually only just seen the one with the Jake Gyllenhaal Mysterio, the second installment.
Right.
Immediately prior to seeing that one in the theater, I had not watched that one.
Okay.
Until right before seeing it in the theater, and I think it added a little gravity, like it was almost a two-part story.
Right. Yeah, no, I think I can see how that's the case, because like it is a direct continuation. Like it's practically a sequel. Sorry, it is a sequel, but I mean like it's practically like the next comic book.
Yeah, Homecoming was funny because Homecoming was like a sort of a closed system. It was a one.
Okay, I just started watching it. No, it feels like a closed system.
Have you run into Michael Keaton yet?
Yeah, he's the first thing that shows up in the movie.
I can't get enough fucking Michael Keaton.
Yeah. No, very and like it also contributes to that whole fucking you know what the ultimate villain is, ladies and gentlemen? It's the federal government. It's the federal government. And that's immediately like that's the first thing. That's what drives Michael Keaton over the edge. And you know who's good? Corporate America. Tony Stark. And like it's just right off the bat, you're like, Jesus Christ, you guys can't even, like, you're like fish swimming in water. You don't even know what you're saying anymore. And
no, yeah, because they're one and the same.
Yeah.
So it's like it's odd that way.
Yeah.
The capitalists do not look out for blue collar workers. That narrative is bizarre.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. The whole thing's fucked. But at least Spider-Man's fucking hilarious and bopping around and stuff like that. And I was having a good time.
Tony, you get Tony, you get Robert Downey, and you get Michael Keaton. That's a lot of heat.
Yeah. And fucking, I didn't realize that fat butler guy was Happy Hogan. I know I got to be honest, I wasn't paying very close attention when I watched.
Oh yeah.
Far From Home or Can't Go Home or whatever.
That's fucking. That's the guy. That's the guy, man. It's the guy you hate.
Hogan. It's 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 a guy that I hate.
Yeah.
Do I hate Happy Hogan? Oh man.
Yeah, you dislike all of his writing. He's responsible for all this shit.
Oh, what? Who's writing?
He writes all of this.
There's a person behind all this that I'm. Oh.
Yeah, Happy Hogan's the fucking villain.
Of what?
Of everything that you've been looking for.
What? He's the writer?
Yeah, fucking Jon Favreau.
That's Jon Favreau. What?
Yeah. He's the fucking mastermind. That's the guy.
What dude looks like?
Yeah. He fucking right, and then he goes on and he writes The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, and he's like, "Fuck you, Somerville," the whole time.
Okay, dude. But I like that first time. No, sorry, this is a mischaracterization of me, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry,
I like that
name too. You're gonna have to
Mandalorian was okay. Mandalorian was okay. I got no qualms with Mandalorian outside of like what it represents, as a continuation of fan culture and blah blah blah.
As a basic cowboy show.
Yeah, exactly, right, and that's fine. It looks great. It's the visual inheritor of the proper Star Wars legacy. Like it looks like a Star Wars, and it's a cowboy movie, which is fine because the original Star Wars was like a stupid samurai movie, right? So might as well do a cowboy movie.
Yeah.
I did like in the. So I keep saying his name wrong. Like, what is it? Is it Far From Home, Can't Go Home? Which one is it? I keep
Homecoming's and then Far From
first
Home.
one. The last one.
No, the last one's No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Far From Home is the middle one.
Jesus Christ.
Actually,
No Way
bothers
Home.
me too.
One thing I like about the No Way Home, I like how he dispatched Doctor Strange. I did appreciate that as a fanboy. I was like, yeah, fucking right. Spider-Man, he does do that. He's just a teenager and like he's so smart and he's so quick. And and I also like that the driver of the story is Spider-Man's sort of moral. I'm not going to kill, even if it's my villains, I got to figure out how not to kill them. And I like that as a motivation. So I got to be fair to the story.
Yeah, I did also find a charm that in that it sort of pushed him forward as the premier Spider-Man. Sort of the Spider-Man that replaced all of your heroes. Your old Spider-Men are murderers and fuck-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the guy now. That was unspoken, but yeah,
that actually ties in. So I described to Cynthia about what I watched because I was so mad. I was so mad at the end of watching it. I was like, this fucking movie, fuck. And so I'm ranting at her, and she's just like, and they got these Spider-Man from all over the place, and she's like, it's like a multi-doctor adventure. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what it was. It's like when all the different doctors get together, but it's supposed to be like an anniversary story. It's supposed to be just kind of for fun. And for maybe an anniversary or something like that. But for this, it's just, I guess the purpose is, like you said, to kind of pass the torch as if that's required. But maybe symbolically within like the way fan culture is structured nowadays with its like prismatic approach to things, like in these worries over continuity and stuff like that. Like this is the movie that says it's okay to let the past go and embrace the future of the same goddamn story. I don't
know if it has that effect on the really balls deep fans though. Like, if anything, they were like, "Fucking Toby, yeah." More of that. There's Twitter call-outs for Andrew Garfield to do a third movie that he was never granted a full trilogy.
Okay, well that's just like that's 90,000 people who have too much time on their hands. Like there was such a thing as a vocal minority.
90,000 people were never wrong in the past.
Yeah, that's right. Release the Snyder Cut, right?
Snyder Cut. I saw actually the Snyder Cut the other day at the Walmart, and I thought, man.
Oh yeah, man,
get fucking that. Beauty. The Snyder Cut should go, but put it right beside Seven Samurai where it belongs. The fucking greatest movie of all time.
I forgot that when I was making, my 2021 list, like going through all those movies or whatever, I forgot, man, Zack Snyder's Justice League is a 2021 movie. So I got like a little pop in my charts without realizing it.
Yeah, the Snyder Cut is something, and like you fucking drank it down too.
I did. Yeah, I really did.
You didn't.
I was so disappointed having done so, but I drank it down.
I think what bugged my ass that it was better than Wheaton's Hack and Slash.
Yeah, it would have to be.
But I didn't think it was going to be that much better, and it was a lot better.
I think it's the magic sauce that like what Whedon is not interested in the physicality of actors and actresses and the motion of bodies and stuff like that. Like I think of because because Rev was saying that he hadn't watched Age of Ultron, and I was just thinking about like how fucking those Avengers movies have the shittiest action, because it's like you see Hawkeye and Black Widow just standing on some rocks, and Hawkeye's just shooting arrows just at nothing. And he's fling, 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 and she's just pew 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 pew, and what he focuses on is like their conversation, like what passes for quips between the two characters.
Yeah. Fair.
Where, and you take that sensibility and you try to apply it to the material of Zack Snyder, where like Snyder, whatever his flaws, and there are many, he's interested in bodies in motion, and sort of like great feeling, bigness, and for almost for its own sake, and yeah, it's just not a great fit.
That's a good observation. I like that a lot. I know what you mean by the action, and I think that's why I like the in the Marvel run too. I do enjoy the Civil War and the Winter Soldier. Because I like Sebastian Stan. I like his Bucky. I like actually the guy as an actor too. He really is breaking out this year, and I just think he's physical. And him and Chris Evans had some good choreographing. Man, they're both big, fucking strong, fast guys in real life, and it was cool. So that was outside of the box for a lot of the Marvel stuff that was mostly CGI, right?
Yeah, those are the Russo brothers movies, right? Like, I know they also did Endgame and all that stuff, but those were also Russo, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think was it Winter Soldier when, I think we've talked about this, maybe even on the podcast, when they dropped Captain America off on that ship at the beginning of the movie. I forget which one it is, but they just drop him off, or maybe he like swims or something like that, and he like climbs aboard.
Yeah, and he just starts fucking people, and he has a fight with George St. Pierre.
Yes, yeah,
which is fucking great. Also cool, nice touch to bring George in as a villain, and just like, I don't know, I like that.
But it was just the visual of, like, I knew I was watching something a little different, watching the speed of his body moving from, I don't know, like terrorist to terrorist, whatever the fuck they were, pirate to pirate, and just coolly and calmly taking them out. I was like, oh shit, all right, that like that's Captain America, like that's
having 2 or 3 guys get hit by a vibranium shield and just talking on a headset while he's dismantling guys, that's proper. That's what it'd be like to run into a super soldier, or in my imagination anyway.
Well, at the very least it looked like it, and it looked, it just didn't look like James Bond couldn't do that. He can do, like, James Bond is really great, but he just can't do that, and that's what you need. You need him to show up and be, like, I don't know, super, like, probably
a metahuman. Yeah, I want to see a fucking metahuman.
Yeah. So that was that's all right. That's
Well, I like that. There's another character in those two too. The Zemo, Baron Zemo, the actor that plays that. He's a that actor's an oddity, and I can't remember his name, but he's really charming. He has a great screen command. And he's an odd choice. Like, he's not really a great fit for it, but he sort of ran with it. Anyway.
Daniel Bruhl?
Yeah, that's him.
There we go. See his face. His face looks a little familiar. It's been a while since I've seen those movies.
Yeah, he's in a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. Right. So anyway, those movies exist, and I might go. Now that I've decided I'm gonna go to the theater more often, I'm even like, do I want to go see Morbius? Do I want to
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I gotta
especially after reading all these comics, I was like, fuck, that movie must suck so bad. Like, these.
Oh man, they literally it's being reviewed. They're saying, people are actively saying it's worse than Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Yeah, one way of
That's aggressive.
Well, that's it. Like that, but that's almost a marketing ploy, isn't it? Like they're like, okay, this movie sucks. How do we make it? How do
Sucks
we
so
turn,
fucking bad.
yeah, how do we turn this lemon into lemonade? Like it's the worst movie ever. Go see it.
Oh, do you think it's like that? Nah,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
I think there's some judo going on here. I think this movie fucking sucks. And instead of just letting it suck, they're like, it has to be the worst movie ever. I bet it just sucks. Honestly,
I'm excited
Yeah.
I got to take the Pepsi challenge on it. Like, I want to know now.
Well,
Is this the worst movie ever made?
Yeah.
Because if it is, it's gonna be special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not optimistic for that. It doesn't. Even the trailer doesn't make it look that bad.
I want to see fucking really bad visual effects, and I want to see Jared Leto's fucking method acting just off the chains. I want to see him just being crippled for real.
I love that Mads. What is it? Mads Mikkelsen? What's his name? Sorry.
Yeah, just took a pot shot at him.
Yeah. I was like right after we talked about it, and I was like, yes.
He doesn't seem like that kind of guy, but good for him.
Yep. Well, why not, man?
Hey, listen, Mads is
he's not innocent. What's the fuck? He's doing a Harry Potter land shit. Like he's not above the fray.
But you know what? He's done it. He's done his time, man. He's been in the depths. Valhalla.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, he's really great, and he has done some stuff. Like, although Jared Leto, he was in Fight Club, wasn't he? He was also in Panic Room. Blade.
Yeah, Jared Leto's been around, fucking towing the line and taking roles, just working. Yeah, doing the fucking Gucci runway, whatever, man. The guy's an oddity, trying to play the Joker the best he could.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, whoops.
Not a bad Joker.
Unique. It was unique.
Yeah, I think that's just due to the visual style of fucking, what was it, Jason Ayre or whatever.
Oh well, they pulled him in for the Snyder Cut too. Remember?
What, they pulled him in? Not for the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah. Shit. Of course I remember. Yeah. All right. You're right. Yeah.
The dream sequence. The whatever the fuck that.
Clown. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What a fucking shit show that was. Holy shit.
That was great.
Yeah.
What are you serving me here? Where am I? Post-apocalyptic Superman hell.
Yeah.
All because fucking, what's her name?
Lois Lane?
Yeah. It's the actress's name.
Oh, Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. I was going to say Amy Schumer, and I was like, that's not correct.
No.
No. Amy Adams is a gem.
Mm-hmm. Much like, actually not at all like these fucking Morbius comics. So in our enthusiasm for what is potentially the shittiest movie of the goddamn century, we were like, you know what? Let's and also because Hoopla made it known to us that, like, you want to read some Morbius comics? We got Morbius comics. Come on,
Hoopla. Yeah, Hoopla was like, you know what? I've been tapping your mic, and I know you got Morbius on the mind. I'm going to suggest some fucking beautiful Morbius comics, or I'm overestimating Hoopla's power, and they just tapped into the movie and suggested a bunch of shitty Morbius comics that they had on deck.
That's very much it. I think that's
more likely. Yeah. But so then I tabled this experience, this toilet bowl Morbius experience, and I did not think that you guys would want to read any of it, but we went in. You went for the big boy too. 2013.
Yeah, whatever this is called. Sorry, it's I was trying to get the dates on it, but I'm just gonna fucking stop because
it's called Morbius the Living Vampire, the Man Called Morbius.
Mm-hmm.
And it's written by Joe
Keating.
With Dan Slott, I guess.
That's for the first one for the Amazing Spider. I didn't read that issue, Amazing Spider-Man 699.1 or whatever.
Oh, I read them all. Yeah, and then Valentin DeLandro is our artist.
Well, that's for the Spider-Man issue. Okay, so we got Joe Keating for the it's Living Vampire 1 through 19. I think this is a 2013 comic. Again, like that's what I was
Joe
looking.
Keating and Valentin DeLandro did the.
They did
Richard Ellison and Carlos Rodriguez did the bulk, and then Valentin DeLandro did 6 and 7 again.
Yeah. I think I'm a Carlos Rodriguez fella out of everything that I saw here. Out of all the, what passed for whatever the fuck was going on here. This is I did, so we just savaged Blackest Night. The audience will have by this time heard us having done so.
Mm-hmm. And we gave a real fucking hard time to Blackest Night.
Mm-hmm.
Now it feels like I took a shit in the Holy Grail in a golden goblet. It was a high watermark in comics lore and fun and art and retracts my previous statements.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. I don't retract anything. I like everything we said about it is true, but at least it was worthy of the feelings we had of it. And this is I don't feel anything about this other than who is this character? This character?
This is a hollow production.
Yeah, just fucking shitty. Really, really nothing. And I can tell they're trying to maybe reboot the character or something. How do we turn Morbius the living vampire into something different in a post Matt Fraction, post Gillen universe, with comics and stuff like that. How do we do it in modern Marvel? And this was one attempt.
Well, the funny thing about Morbius too is the origin story. So the origin story, I get it. We got a kid with some kind of fucking blood condition, brittle bones, whatever. I'm actually empathizing with the kid out of the gate. Find it a little bit charming.
Yeah.
We're floating back and forth, and then as soon as you flip me over to Michael Morbius, who's this emaciated fucking asshole, who's just obsessed with curing his own condition to the point where he's endangering anybody he loves or works with, is just, you can't table this guy as a fucking protagonist. He's hideous to look at. He's just a natural villain. He's just this gross little fucking loser that's angry at the whole world. There's nothing to like about him. You can't table him this way. And I get that they're trying to rehash the origin, but the origin seems to. It's one of those weird things where it's let's reinvent the character but use the same fucking origin every time where it's an unlikable character.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense.
I think it can, because I read the original Spider-Man issues, and those things are fucking weird because Spider-Man's got 6 arms at the time when Morbius shows up, and he's he's freaking out, he's trying to leave the city because no one, he doesn't want to be found out as Peter Parker with 6 arms, and meanwhile he's got to fight a vampire.
That's awesome, but I do like the 6-armed Spider-Man.
Yeah. Anyway, it's very creepy. And but yeah, Morbius's story is one of okay, so he's trying to save himself, and he's clearly sort of villainous even early on, but and some lady's in love with him, and he's all fucking selfish and stuff like that. But I don't want to sell this too hard, but he's trying to cure himself, but it kind of fails, or it looks like it's failing, and then his brother turns off the machine early. And then he eats his brother, and that's kind of the sort of guilt thing, or he fucking breaks his neck. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he just feasts on him.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I get that the whole character is basically he's on a survival mode. This is a survival story, survival instincts, and then you're gonna just basically put me into a story where the guy's just batting from one thing to the next in a survival kind of way. He's in the streets now, surviving after just continuing to try to survive, I guess.
Yeah. But the pedestrianness of this story. So going over to Morbius, the living vampire, appeared later on in very sort of magazine format, and in a comic format called Adventure in Fear or something like that, featuring Morbius, the living vampire. And Steve Gerber writes him. I sent some images, and so there's one story where he ends up in this fantasy realm with all these cat people, and it's this cat civilization that has found ultimate peace, but they're overpopulating, and so they want to bring him in to start killing them because they won't kill each other. And they're like, "We found a use for you," and he's like, "No, I won't be your tool." And then he tries to run away and stuff like that. And he's constantly grabbing women and just murdering them, and then feeling bad about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then you take that heritage, that bizarre, truly bizarre heritage, and that simple motivation of like this guy who basically has like a heroin addiction and can't control himself, but like when he needs to get a hit, it's like murdering people. And then you turn it into this, like, where like it opens up and he's just fighting some guys with shotguns and having a hard time doing so, and you're just like, you used to fight Spider-Man, dude.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's true. And this guy's like he's a fucking undead menace. And he has high grade pain in the ass, like alarming powers. Like these guys should have been absolutely mutilated. The first couple punks he ran into should have been mutilated and terrified for their lives, not just like, let's get this milky fucker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more like it's like someone took the sensibility of White Wolf comic or White Wolf role-playing games like Vampire the Masquerade or something like that. But even not that, like there's no sense that he has super speed or that these people he's fighting are like out of their depth. He's like, they're legitimately fighting him, and and it's, from a certain perspective, he is losing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then he's just a fucking bum, just lives in an abandoned theater in Brownsville. Is Brownsville a real place? I'm just expressing
I don't know.
Loud right now.
Brownsville's pretty shitty. I mean, and then he gets the shit beat out of him by the punk lord.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he actually just gets straight up beat up at full strength with a sandwich in his hand by just a big fucking moron.
Yeah, with a goddamn sandwich in his hand. That's go on.
He just has the shit beat out of him, and it just doesn't make any sense at all. Like, and then he gets literally a shotgun discharged into his chest and heals.
Yeah.
Like, do we have superpowers or do we not? And I think they comp it at one point because he says, "I've been holding back." It's like, what, you enjoy just getting dog shit beat out of you on a street corner with no witnesses? Like, that benefits you in any way?
Yeah, you're Morbius the living vampire.
There's nobody around. We're gonna let some guy beat the dog shit out of you. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. To just catch his fist, fucking mash his hand into putty, and just let him go to the hospital like a piece of trash and finish your sandwich.
I think maybe it's because he's on the lam, like he's just escaped from prison. He's trying to keep a low profile. I'm like, maybe, but it's even that's not clear. Like, he doesn't even say that. Like, I don't know what this guy's motivation is, and through this Michael Morbius, like, I don't know. Like, he just seems to, like, I think the writer wants to treat him as some sort of symbol of like of uprising against sort of like landlords, and like it's just some kind of hero for the poor. But that doesn't motivate this guy. Like, I don't know what he wants.
No, I don't know. The Brownsville hero, he's just he gets set up in this here, like, I don't know. He just gets set up in this like theater, and then he's got his Jubilee or whatever with him. And then there's just no no motivation for anything to actually be happening. And they're introducing, they made a big effort to introduce like a large cast of characters like that sort of like acted as like a family for the story. And that that's interesting. You got the troubled kid hanging out with the fucking, what's the big moosey guy's name?
What, Noah? The bad guy?
Yeah.
Noah something. Remember?
Yeah, so you got his kid hanging out there. He's the fucking, it's basically like they got all the stolen fucking TVs. It's like the Ninja Turtles hangout back from the fucking first movie.
Yeah.
This guy's a bad guy. He keeps Brownsville clean, but he does it by running shitty crime.
Yeah.
Morbius just busts in there. Everyone gets into a fist fight, and then Morbius absolutely gets the dog shit kicked out of him again, until he fucking rips the guy's throat out.
Yeah. That seems to be his superpower. That's his best move. Like all the time.
His superpower is just like, while he's getting the dog shit beat out of him, all of a sudden your throat just opens wide.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, why? How'd this happen? I was kicking this guy's ass and overpowering him, and all of a sudden he just ate my throat out.
Yeah, because like later on, someone's gonna be like, "I knew you would try to do that," and like, so they stop him, and then he's useless again.
No, then he develops superpowers after he rips the guy's throat out. There's like 87 dudes with like Uzis and Tech 9s having like a gang war fight, but he's flying through the fucking air doing Matrix kicks. Wait, what?
Yeah. Well, he just needed a little bit of blood, man. Just needed
he got his ass beat by Noah. Like, oh yeah, I guess you can go that route. Maybe he was fasting. Then he just gets shot in the throat again.
I don't like this. Okay, so if you're gonna engage with this level of violence, like if you're gonna like if the final image of issue 2 is gonna be like Morbius biting someone's neck out, at least make it look like he bit someone's neck out. Like what am I looking at here? Like it's like an explosion of, it looks like an explosion of red or whatever, but it looks more like he's biting a handkerchief or some cloth. It doesn't, the level of gore required for this character in gothic horror is not present in the art, and certainly not in the forefront of the writer.
It almost feels comics code-ish.
Yeah,
like I've got off-colored blood. I got weird bullet scenarios. The fucking guns look like I'm reading a Star Wars book.
Mm-hmm.
And then and nobody dies. Even the guy that got his throat eaten doesn't die.
Oh, that's true. That's right, because he's like, oh, which, admittedly could be awful, but this artist just cannot render what's required here. And then Morbius afterwards. But that's the thing. Like, I'm prone to bad ideas. It's why I'm a vampire. And then there's like this black space where like sometimes Morbius has this fourth wall. Well, he's breaking the fourth wall all the time. But the comic is like, oops, and again, it's just so playful. But I'm not having any fun.
No, then the best is that they keep continuously introduce B-level, street-level characters that with no motivation to be in these situations. Like, did ya? I didn't notice. I was too distracted by you tearing my boyfriend's throat out. Well, who the fuck is this? We're on issue fucking 4 here. You're introducing Noah's girlfriend to take Noah's place with no motivation to do so. Basically putting her own life in danger by trying to hang a vampire from the ceiling. What a terrible choice. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And then let's move on next to the one-armed field medic. Yeah, what the fuck? No, who is this? I don't need this fucking guy in the story. What are we doing here? Is this funny? Was like, are you joking around with me? The guy, how can the guy can't fucking stitch anything up? He's got one fucking hand.
I thought you were a field man. They turned it into a joke, man. Like, man, no, I was in the Army Reserves, but never even saw combat. I lost my arm in a car accident before I could. This writer, fuck, like this. Honestly, like this is an 18-year-old's first attempt to write something. And it's got the structure of the story. It's got like the idea, like it's just kind of fucking around. It's trying to be playful. It's like the guy's been reading a bunch of his favorite writers, and he's starting to get a sense, and like he got put on the big time stage way before he was ready. This guy needed to cook a lot more, and I'm not sure he'll ever be done cooking. Like this guy's a nothing.
Wow, that's harsh, but true.
Super disappointed. Like nothing.
And then it was just like continue to introduce more characters that shouldn't have any motivation. Mask woman, like
who's
what
this
motivation do you have to go street level and fight a vampire?
Yeah.
What? Who are you? What just happened? Your boss. Don't understand that. And then like, why don't you introduce what was that? Michael Morbius's dad? I'm just confused at this point. He's like a mob boss. It's a 3-tiered organization. The levels of tiers of bad guys, and just layer after layer, 3 layers, inaccessible to Michael Morbius from the ground level. But no one cares. And they also have no motivation to be doing this. It's fucking weird, man.
Yeah. Well, Brown's
not weird in a good way, like like number 9.
Yeah. Exactly. I guess we can. Well, before we can go over to what number 9, I just want to throw some fucking shade on also the Rose.
The Rose is torturing a bald guy. No idea what's going on here.
Well, okay, I know who that dude is. I know who the Rose is supposed to be from reading like Web of Spider-Man way back fucking the day, like early 90s Spider-Man comics. I remember the Rose, but he's supposed to be like Kingpin's son. There was a purpose for him, and I think he got brought back as a villain or whatever, because I think even Morbius realizes that in the end. But like this comic does nothing, absolutely zero, to introduce its villains. It goes out of its way to like, here's the secondary character, and here's some background, and here's here's the mother of the kid of Noah. Here's the Noah's baby mama, Wanda, and she's a strong affirmative woman and all that stuff. And like you just like the cast is there, but like the villains, I don't know who they are, and the story makes no effort to make me curious about them, or to tell me who they are, other than to give them a name and to say that they're the villain. Like that's so incompetent. That's wildly incompetent.
Well, I know, because you built really the characters that I was most vested in were actually like Noah and Noah's faux hawk girlfriend. And then I guess that's all been dispatched by the Rose, and then you just dump the Rose on me. But by then we're already at issue 6. So we've gone 6 issues, and you just dumped and murdered all the work you did.
Yeah.
And then just were like, the Rose, I've got adamantium bullets. And I'm like, okay, what? Why are you here? Why are you in Brownsville, dude?
Yeah.
There's not enough. Nobody works in Brownsville, man. They're not buying your heroin. I'm confused.
Yeah, you need I need to understand what the stakes are for if you want me to care. And like I just feel that the writer and the artist team, honestly, you know what? The editor ought to get the full brunt of our bullshit here, because like someone signed off on all this shit. No one gave this dude any notes and said, you know what, you're being incoherent, and nothing. And like,
I read 135 pages, and then you introduced Laser Hands, the Trenchcoat woman. What? Dude.
Yeah, and she's just like the best supervillain that ever existed, and like, are we? No, and like all of a sudden the Rose is given like, I built you an ultimate nullifier, and you're like, okay, I can see how you're trying to be cute. I can see how you're like, I think that's it. Like,
but like, did you read his Spider-Man?
Oh, actually,
dude,
I have an explanation.
Whoever the fuck you are. Yeah. Have you ever read a Spider-Man book in your life?
Okay.
That's not fucking Spider-Man. I don't know who you're writing.
Okay, well, at the time, Dr. Octopus was inhabiting Spider-Man's body. And so that's why his vision's all like, his visor's all weird and stuff like that. And he's talking about fool, and it's but again.
Well, you can't have a cameo like that and not explain that.
Yes. I was so frustrated the whole time.
You think that I'm gonna buy a Morbius trade paperback,
Uh-huh.
and then what? And then like branch out into whatever random fucking dumbass issue of Spider-Man came up with that idea for 2 weeks at the time? Fuck right
Oh, it
off.
lasted a long time, actually. It was a major arc with Dan Slott, but I think maybe they were thinking is that Spider-Man readers went over to
Jesus.
Morbius, right? But
Is that what Dan was thinking?
it's actually not a bad story. Like, let's put aside that idea. It's not a bad idea. It works out.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
And
but
actually, now I understand why Spider-Man's acting and talking that way.
yeah, but they don't do anything with it. Like, there's no moment when Morbius and Otto Octavius, for instance, have a little tete-a-tete, and
Well, yeah, and then if you come into the book blind,
yeah,
you just think the guy's writing a moronic Spider-Man.
yeah. No, the whole time I was reading it, I was thinking of you, and I was like, he's not going to know what the fuck would happen here. He's going to be so upset. Yeah, I should have texted you about that, but
yeah, that's why he's making robots, and that's why he's so fucking smart. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But yeah, the book does nothing. It's I think this whole book is negligent. And I know that has like the book's not doing any harm, so it's not like proper negligence where anybody gets hurt, but like I just don't feel anyone's doing their job properly. Everybody showed up to work, but you guys failed. Like you just went through the motions and you didn't produce something that makes any fucking sense. And you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. And I'm glad.
Well, I like what you said about the editor too. Like somebody sat down and read this cover to cover, or they didn't. Which, if you didn't, then you shouldn't have a fucking job, moron.
Yeah.
And if you did, shame on you for sending this to the printer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
who's the fucking editor here? Santa Amanata. Yeah. Fuck you, Santa. Fuck you, Santa.
Yeah, man, you just got your job from hanging around in the fucking office too long.
Senior editor Stephen Wacker. I know that name. That dude's been around for a while. Double shame on that fucker.
Well, he didn't read it, guaranteed.
Yeah, I think so.
He was like, great covers, guys.
Yeah.
And the covers were great.
And they weren't bad, actually. Yeah. Like if you were to judge a book by its cover, this might be a better book.
Yeah. And then, oh man, really enjoyed when like there were just like monsters introduced.
Oh yeah, like a flashback, like a continuity tie-in or some shit like that.
Yeah, all of a sudden it was like what's that movie with the fucking Monster Squad? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All of a sudden it was Monster Squad. There's fucking Swampy is there, the Mummy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yeah, and he's just like, I know where I'll take them. Like he evacuates everyone's in Brownsville to like Monster Squad land, and you're like, why is he like? If you had access to the Mummy and werewolf and all, like
the Mummy. Shit, yeah, like fucking hang on, what's his name? Manphibian. The fucking
shit, was that the
is this one the creature from the Black Lagoon?
Yeah.
He's down there, all of a sudden he's like, don't worry, I'll save you. So the creature from the Black Lagoon saves Morbius' girlfriend, I guess.
Yeah.
Rose is like a little frustrated because he's like, what the fuck what's going on here?
Yeah. I thought it was
yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, like, okay, fine. But even though that's such a wild idea, it's funny to say out loud. But on the page, it's just like it just shows up all of a sudden. And the character designs are so shitty and the art's so trash.
Yeah, man. And if you wanted to be quirky, you should have given me the fucking creature from the Black Lagoon in issue 1. The Manphibian would have been just a little bit of fucking icing on the cake that I could have followed through this fucking issue after issue of garbage arc. But no, you gave me fucking whatever, Noah the street thug.
Yeah. And if you like, if you kind of like talk yourself through what happened in this comic, like it turns into like a paragraph. Uh, like through the entire thing, you're just like nothing really happened. It just like a lot appears to have happened.
No, it's almost like what if I fucking like what if I man, it's just like a fucking shitty what if. It's like what if Spawn was a fucking or Daredevil or like I got a Daredevil type of Spawn vibe from protecting the fucking alleyways. And
Yeah.
then I've got like a let's just like power him down so that he's like a vampire from Twilight, and let's just fucking tell like the lamest street drug story, and then introduce bad guys at the end and good guys at the end.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just like all of a sudden it ends up at like being it. I think the writer, obviously the team. So at some point, here's my theory, like the writing was on the wall. They were like, the signal came on down from the accounting department. It was like, no one's buying your shit. And so they're like, oh, we better wrap up our shit. So they just like accelerated what they thought was going to be, I guess, like 6 trade paperbacks of fucking brilliance. Yeah. So
maybe that's what we're missing out on here. Is this was just building.
We're not. We are absolutely not, though. Like this is you know that you read these comics. Don't kid our audience here. There was nothing. Yeah. There's no show here. There's nothing to show up for. This is
maybe in trade paperback number 2, when everybody sets up shop in the Monster Squad lair, we had some gravy. But
yeah, we might have.
We never got to sample that, I guess.
Even then, we would have constantly had the question of motivation. We would have constantly had the question of like, why am I here?
Yeah,
how did I spend $2.50 on this again?
Why did the swampy sapien fucking want to be involved at all with Morbius?
Yeah,
where did they meet?
What kind of debt do they owe him? Where they're just going to be like, yeah, it's going to come.
It was like Morbius was crawling through the sewers one day, and he was like, "Whoa, a swampy! What's up, bro? Bump it. We're friends now." I don't know.
I'm a vampire. You're a werewolf. We've got so much in common. Fucking.
Do you live with a mummy and a swampy? Great.
We're perfect.
Where's Frankenstein's? Fucking
That's the only thing missing, right?
If you would have given me that too, I would have at least laughed a bit.
If Frankenstein's monster showed up, abso-fucking-lutely, I'd have been like,
I mean, like, that's fantastic. Where the fuck is Scooby-Doo? Where's Scooby-Doo? This is great. But
it's
no, you didn't.
Too late.
No, it's too late. The ship sailed. You fucked it up. You had a chance.
Yeah. So sorry, man. Which brings us to, I guess, another canceled effort on, but at least the Morbius series we're going to talk about for a second, from 1992 to 1995, like I think it was like 36 issues. It had a run, it had writers and artists and all that stuff, and it appeared to be doing something.
Yeah, issue 9 is dope as fuck. The King of Vampires, the boner-inspiring cover, fantastic. Looks like I'm thinking of oh man, who's that gigantic woman that ran with Schwarzenegger in the 80s?
Oh shit! Fuck, I know who you're talking. Yeah, I thought.
Anyway, the cover sort of gives me that vibe.
Yeah. Like she's so much bigger than. Okay, so we're talking about Morbius the Living Vampire. This is like volume 1, issue 9 from May 1993. Believe it or not, this is written by the colorist. So the guy who was writing it prior to this, Len, what was his fucking name? Len Lewinsky, something like that. Len Minsky. Shit, I'm not gonna look it up. Fuck it. Who cares about that guy? He was, I don't know. The editors weren't feeling it. Marvel wasn't feeling it, and then I guess the colorist was like, "I'll fucking take over," and he produces at this point this story, which I was like, it's so different. Because it's like Morbius in this like fantasy world where like his dead wife is this hot giant woman and barely dressed, like just hanging out between his legs. and I love this Ron Wagner. I love Ron Wagner. I think he's a guy that didn't arrive. He's from the Kubert school. He was doing a bunch of Punisher shit at this time. And I think he's a capital G guy that never made it. And I like his illustration on this.
Oh man, his art, his yeah, everything about what Ronnie did here was a masterwork.
Yeah.
Just look at fucking Dracula's castle here. Look at this fucking tongue action. Jesus.
Yeah. that moment, like, again, I don't know if it's not the Marvel method, like did the colorist just be like, just draw whatever you want, Ron. Fill in the words.
Go ahead. We're going with the living vampire here.
Yeah.
You can have your nude red fucking velvet curtains flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Both Morbius and his woman effeminately whipping their hair back and forth and having some weird fucking Dracula love.
Yeah. This is like an open sex scene though, like right off the front, this tryst, however, is no dream, but it is a dream, right? Because he's in the nightmare realm. So immediately lie to you. Oh, Michael, but it's just like this blood fetish sex scene for like at least 5 pages. And I was just like, wow, I was just floored. I love that. Like, I fucking love that.
It was gutsy.
If you're gonna do Morbius the living vampire, like, you don't need to shock me, but you need to embrace that aesthetic. You need to do something like,
yeah, it's a ludicrous aesthetic, and I do want some fucking, like, the character is hideous, so like give me that fucking weird Dracula vibe. That's fine.
Yeah.
I like the Doctor Strange Van Helsing also.
Yeah, and I think this comic does kind of suffer from the same problem that we saw in the other thing, which is just like, I don't exactly know what's happening right away. And I don't mind being confused, but even when the story thinks it's explaining things to me, I'm not understanding, and I'm not stupid. Like, I can pick up on some stuff, but this comic's not helping me. It's like it's grammar.
What do you mean? The delusion must cease. Success of the 9 depends upon your participation.
Yeah.
Without you, they'll be doomed to failure.
And the
dimension walls holding back the dark powers of Willis Shatner. What?
Yeah. And you're like, okay,
Anyway.
who's that guy? Like, it really counts on the audience's recognition that that's Doctor Strange just by the fact that he has like that gray temple shit.
Yeah. Well, actually, your guy here, Wagner, he slowly transitions him to Doctor Strange sort of as the panels move on, because I guess they're trying to make Morbius have the illusion sort of falls away.
Right, right.
When the woman horrifically dissolves into a grotesque skeleton, sort of like a shitty Indiana Jones scene. Well done. Also,
yeah.
I
was really like, even so as Doctor Strange is getting like pulled away into some sort of like demon realm, after having confronted Morbius, there's the scene, and it's kind of and it's reminiscent of an old like Ditko scene or something like that, but it's very, I don't want to say naturalistic, but sort of modernized, and it's got like the clouds are all laughing in the form of nightmare, and then there's the floating citadel, and then there's the jagged landscape below it, and I'm just like, I don't know, like it's such a simple thing, but it's not a simple thing when you say it out loud like that, but like it's conveyed extremely well.
Yeah, it really gives a sense of like, I don't know. Well, I mean, like, and then the same thing when he like pulls Morbius out of the dream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's holding him in his hand or whatever.
Yeah, and you can sort of see the little realms that he's built around him and shit. Like, very cool, very 80s. But
Yeah, there's backgrounds missing. Like you can tell that like I've seen better work from Ron Wagner. I can tell he's in a rush. But like everything's conveyed properly. Like the story's absurd, so it's just mostly
oh
Morbius
yeah,
by a giant and screaming at it. And
I like that this Morbius is like digested and beaten down too. Feast away, nightmare. I have no desire to return to the living world. He's just good. He's like, give me back my lady, and I'm good to sit here and let you feast on my soul.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just fuck, give me my woman back. And like honestly, that's a legit motivation. Like if you really had this special vampire realm where your dead wife who you fucking murdered is suddenly back and you're just boning all the time and kings and queens of the realm, like
yeah, and there's just like she's just
legit.
like a hot blonde howling vampire babe with white
Yeah.
skin now. Great, do your thing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean, I would throw in the towel for my soul for that.
Yeah, well, because you're immortal, right? Like you're not going to die anyway. So it's not like you're not even really giving up your soul. Like at some point, theoretically, this could end. I guess if you had some sort of moral scruple at some point, but I don't.
Well,
see
I
the
guess
point.
like why would I want this to end? Why would I want that to end in favor of my annoying fucking doctor friend who's trying to persevere here?
Well, it's because of the nine and all that shit. Like if it wasn't this like weird nagging nonsense quest on the part of like Doctor Strange, the only reason it makes any sense, like I honestly, if Doctor Strange is showing up and saying like this is bad, dude, this is bad, I guess like fuck, okay, I guess Doctor Strange thinks it's bad, so there's probably a good reason. But that's really the story doesn't tell me why I should be worried. Like I'm really just empathizing with Morbius on this thing. I'm just like, honestly, it takes him off the board. He stops killing people and he just lives in a happy fantasy realm. So great. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Factual. And then now Doctor Strange has put himself in a position where he's stuck in Nightmare World. So like you're the Sorcerer Supreme, protector of the realm. Now you fucked yourself over getting a horrible vampire back on Ooh, where he's just gonna feel his goddamn need to feast, and he's gonna prey on the bums of Brownville or whatever.
Yeah, lost his wife. He's just lonely, Just like,
Yeah, now he's like all fucking desperate. He's like, Stephen Strange pulled me from the nightmare realm. I must find a way to help him. But first, I'll eat 3 bums. Like, congrats to protecting the realm, Doctor Strange. Fucking asshole.
well, the '90s were a weird time. They didn't really know. Had to keep it going.
Yeah. Anyway, this was a beautiful. I mean, like, I saw it all. Heaven, hell, fake realms, gigantic nightmare gods, fantasy worlds, the streets.
Yeah. I think that, like in the final issue, the final page, when he wakes up, like Doctor Strange, like his eyes, when he wakes up from like he's opening himself up from his crypt, and it's for whatever reason there's just like this wind blowing, and you just like
his hair is always going.
Yeah, he's fucking killing it, and so anyway, like is it too much to ask for something of this nature? Like can we not have this? I don't like. You don't have to be cute, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to be cute in order to sell it. To like go with it, lean into it. And I think the problem with the 2013 version is it does not lean into the Morbius concept at all. It tries to pull away from it, and you're like, why?
No, man, it's all there. Give me what I want. Give me that death metal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We need the Snyder cut of Morbius.
Particularly in this day and age when but I think that's Marvel's kind of where DC went. It's weird to think that DC would handle Morbius better than Marvel would, but I really think they would.
I think that's kind of the case. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of like a thesis antithesis thing where like, okay, DC's going hard dark, even though it's a serious children's property. That's the weirdest thing about Marvel or DC. And we were kind of chatting about this. It's just like, you know what would make Mary Poppins so fucking good if we just made her dark? You're just like, no, stop. And you know, with Marvel, they go all cute and simple, you know, like in response to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they need, you know, they can go dark. Like they're a property born of concerns over nuclear annihilation, and hipsters and you know, like 1960s drug culture and stuff like that. Like that's a totally different vibe. And Marvel at the present moment seems to be resisting that and resisting genre in favor of just like this most vanilla fucking bullshit. Yeah, real shame. But of course, the '90s gave us what we really wanted. So
yeah, the real Morbius.
Yeah. I don't know what to say from after that.
I was gonna say I don't know if there's any reason to rate this or anything.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I don't. I think the comparison, because it's just so recent with Blackest Night. With Blackest Night, we got so intense because I think I already said this earlier. Just like it was kind of worthy of feeling something, and so we gave it low scores, lower scores than perhaps it deserves. You know, just because it was fun to do that. But this is actually a real disappointment. Like this I'm going to score it. I'm going to give it like a proper 2. Not the '90s comic. The '90s comic was dope, but
no, this is a 2. '90s comics a 7.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I haven't been properly disappointed in something in a while, and I was actually kind of concerned. Not concerned that we wouldn't have anything to talk about, but I was just like, fuck, this is embarrassing. Why are we talking about this? You know, we both selected it and it was fine. You're like,
no, man, there's so much stuff out there like this though.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, I guess when you're at the top of the mountain, you can do whatever you want, but I'd love to know how many copies this sold. Like 3?
Yeah, I'll pull the numbers on that one day out of curiosity. I just didn't think it would be so bad. You know, like I was like, Morbius, all right, fine. You know, like, well, just read some Morbius comics. Like I bet they're gonna.
And it was like, you know, those Marvel comics too, like that was it 2013 with the white backs. Like they had done like a major reboot on a lot of their branding and a lot of their titles, and there was good stuff out around that time. Because I have some of the books. Like I remember when they were branding the books that way.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, well, I mean, there's always something going on at any given publisher, and then there's kind of like the shit at the edges. And I think kind of Morbius ended up at like the shit at the edges. Yeah.
He was there by volume alone.
I kind of think so. Honestly, I gotta be fair. You know, I couldn't tell you what I think of the publishing crop of 2013. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I wonder if it was like a Marvel Knights thing for 2013.
I don't know, man. I genuinely don't know. I'm not gonna speculate. I just know this comic fucking sucks. And someone was asleep at the wheel. Horribly asleep at the wheel.
That's good.
Yeah. All right.
Now, all we need is a little energon and a lot of luck.